Good evening and welcome to Gloss Nappies Live. My name's Lucy and I'm one of the real nappy ladies in Gloucestershire. So tonight's live is all about fabulous fit. So it's getting a good fit and avoiding leaks. So we're all about getting cloth nappies to work really, really well for you. And this is something that we are always happy to do. So you can contact us by phone, by email, through Facebook, through Instagram. We've got an Instagram feed at Gloss Nappies. You can contact us any old how at the moment. Normally you could also track us down at groups, but unfortunately that's still not possible at the moment. So you can always get hold of us and say, I'm having some problems with leaks. I'm having some problems with fitting my nappies. Don't quite know how to put them on. I don't know how to wash them. I'm having a problem with getting them clean, or I'm having a problem with stains, or I'm having a problem with anything at all. And we are here to help you. So, but just to sort of try and forego some of those problems in advance, I thought I'd talk to you tonight about leaks and the best ways to prevent them. So 3 elements to preventing, actually there's probably 4 elements to preventing leaks. I'm going to add another one in, ad hoc, like being ad hoc. So the first, I'm adding it to my notes so I don't forget to talk about it now. The first element of not getting leaks is fit. It's getting nappies to fit right. Now that can be a problem whether you're using disposables or reusables, because every baby's bottom is a different shape. They're not all, they don't all come from a standard mould, and they don't all look exactly the same. It's my demo baby, who is slightly scary and known as Scary Baby throughout Gloucestershire. So I'm going to show you, just demonstrate how we always like to say to people that cloth nappies will fit. And this is something that you have to tweak for your baby. It's something that you have to find a way to get. Sometimes it means choosing a different kind of nappy. But quite often it just means a little bit of a change to the way you put them on the bum, because doing things just slightly different, lining it up slightly different to start with, doing it in a slightly different order can make a massive difference. And it's strange, you sort of think, oh, you just put the baby up, you put it on the bum and that's it and it's done. But getting it on in the right way makes a massive, massive difference. So normally you would probably change your baby lying down. I'm going to take this vest off so it's not in the way. I'm going to do this standing up because you won't be able to see Scary Baby if I lie it down. I'm going to tilt this down slightly. You might lose the top of my head, but still. So we have baby here, baby's bottom. We have a nappy. Just pick this one up. This is the close parent pop in from our kit. Now, birth to potty nappies have rows of poppers on the front to make them fit different sizes of baby. This is so that they grow with your child. The biggest problem, the biggest reason that we see again and again that people are getting leaks is because they put them on too big a rise too early. So this is designed to fit your baby right up until potty training. Okay, this is designed to fit a big chunky 2.5, 3-year-old. And the nappy itself at that point is going to be quite low slung. It's going to be quite low rise, sitting at the top of their bum, almost like they've got a builder's bum. That's fine on a cloth nappy. It's going to be low down in the front, fitting more like a pair of pants than you might expect a nappy to look like. Hello, Vicky. Yes, I'll get to that in just 1 second. So a cloth nappy is going to fit a bit lower than you might expect if you're used to looking at a disposable, but that doesn't mean it's too small necessarily. The thing about when you make the rise bigger is the leg gets bigger with the rise. So you need to fit the leg to your baby. It's not about the height of the nappy. It's not about the height of your baby. It's about the diameter of their leg. So, which I like to refer to as thigh squidge. It's all down to thigh squidge. Now, what we find quite often is people go, oh, my baby's gone up a size of clothes. They've gone up from 0 to 3s to 3 to 6. Pull this out and put it on the biggest size. I'm supposed to fit a 3-year-old. So suddenly the legs are not fitted well at all and you start to get leaks. And people go, oh, nappies don't work anymore. And it's just that you've made them too big too soon. Now, quite often, I will sort of say to people, you keep them on the smallest runs you can for as long as you possibly can. And even sometimes you get a problem that the baby will need the biggest rise when they're sort of maybe, most of them wouldn't be 18 months, most of them probably be around 2. When they're really big and really chunky, depends on the size of your baby again. I had a giant baby, so might have been 18 months, hard to remember at this point. When their thighs are as squidgy as possible and they're really, really big and chunky, and you might be on the biggest size. And then 6 months on from that, they've got upright, they're walking, they're running, they're getting way more sort of exercise, they're burning far more energy, and their thighs slim right down. Yes, Melanie, it is being recorded, so you can watch it later. Their thighs slim right down. So you might actually find that you need to go back down a rise to get a good fit again. If you suddenly find that your toddler, who's got way more active and has slimmed down a little, if you're getting leaks around the leg, that can be because their thighs have slimmed down and you need to go back down a rise. It feels counterintuitive to make your nappies smaller as your child gets bigger, but as they get taller, they tend to get slimmer at that particular age. They don't actually get a lot wider, most children, between about 18 months and about 4 years. They seem to just go up and up and up and up and up. And those thighs slim down. So, going back to Vicky. Vicky asked a question there. When I take my nappies off, my baby has a lot of red marks, almost like they're on too tight. Is this possible? It is possible to put a nappy on too tight, but it is absolutely fine to have little red marks around the thighs. It should be tucked right into the crease of the thigh. So if you've got marks down here, your nappy's in the wrong place. It is absolutely fine to have what we call sock marks. At the end of the day, when you take your socks off and there's sort of a little red mark around your ankle from where your sock has been gripping on your leg, but it doesn't hurt, it's just a mark, and within sort of 10-15 minutes it will fade and it will disappear on its own. That is fine. So if you're getting sock marks, that's how they're generally referred to in the nappy world, but they fade when you have nappy free time, when they're in the bath or when you're just sort of doing nappy free time. If they fade in 10 to 15 minutes and they don't look like they're sore or hurting your child, that's absolutely fine. It's just that it's snug around their skin. Okay, when you put a nappy on, I'm actually going to put this on now. When you put it on, you want to run a finger round the inside of the elastic. That should tell you then that there is enough room to do that, and that it won't be incredibly tight and pinching. If you can't get a finger in there to test the elastics to get them settled nicely in place, that's a sign that it is too tight. Nappies do not want to be too tight, particularly around the tummy. There's absolutely no benefit in squidging a baby's tummy really, really tight in a nappy. That's not where you get leaks in a nappy. Unless you've got a boy and you've left their willy pointing upwards, you're not going to get leaks up this way. Okay, you're going to get leaks around the leg, you're going to get leaks, yeah, that tends to be where they leak, if they're going to leak. Now, got my nappy here, got my baby's bum. When you put a cloth nappy on the baby, you want the back, the bum, this elastic bit across the back, to be right at the top of the baby's bum crease. Okay, almost like they've got a builder's bum. So you put it way lower than you would expect. And then you lift up the nappy in between their legs and you sort of fold it, you pinch it together to get right in between, right in the crease into their crotch there. You can even sort of squidge it as you bring it up like that and around. Then you get hold of the tabs behind and you sort of pull up diagonally and round, up and round, and that should give you a nice fit. You can do a little bit of adjusting. That should give you a nice fit. It should be just at the top of the baby's bum crease in the back. Now this baby doesn't have a bum crease obviously because it's a doll, but it should not be halfway up the back. It should be down at the top of the bottom, gripping with that elastic on the point where the baby's bum is, because that's what stops your leaks. In the front, it should be below the belly button. You can just see where the little sewn belly button is on here. It should be below the belly button. They're not supposed to be right up here covering this. That's how disposables fit, with all that sort of loose papery bit. Cloth nappies do not fit like that. You don't want it up here. If it's up here, it's a sign you've got it way too big. You want the fold at the front where you've got the extra rises tucked in. If you possibly can, oops, my wings of the nappy there are drooping down. I'm just going to tuck them back up. Obviously, I'm putting this on upside down and back to front because I'm trying to show you. This fold wants to be tucked upwards. So put your fingers in it and try and tuck it upwards, not downwards. And just that tiny little action there of that being up, not down, makes sure that this elastic here doesn't droop, and that can avoid leaks. Even that tiny little adjustment, if it's going downwards and you get a leak and you do put that fold upwards, that can sort out a leak sometimes. So tiny little adjustments can really make a difference. That's when I would run a finger around the elastics just to make sure they're sitting nicely, that nothing's being pinched, because babies can have quite lovely squidgy thighs and little sort of folds of skin there. So just run a finger around inside there just to make sure it's all sitting nicely. You want to be able to get, I've probably done this up a little bit tight on the tummy, you want to be able to get at least 2 fingers, maybe 3 fingers, down the front there. You want a little gap when the baby's lying down, because when the baby sits up, or when they've got a tummy full of milk, you want them to be able to move and wriggle and breathe. The nappy, the top of the nappy, the bulk of the nappy is a bit low down, it's down here, so it will hold the top out like that, and you will see a little gap at the top. It is not going to leak upwards there. You want that gap, okay? You don't want to be, the thing that sometimes is tricky when you see is when people kind of go, right, I put the nappy on, it's not going to leak, and you think, oh, poor uncomfortable baby. Now sometimes if you're looking online, it looks like that's happened because newborn babies quite often have a lovely big round tummy and then they go in quite a lot before their legs. They have quite a defined shape. So sometimes it looks like someone's got it on too tight because it looks like the tummy is squeezed in, and that's just the shape of the baby's tummy. Everybody knows their own baby's shape, okay? So what I'm talking about is just be able to get those couple of fingers down the front there so that you know your baby's comfortable and they can breathe and they can move and wriggle and they've got room for their tummy there. I've just seen another one from Vicky. When putting the nappy on, find the non-elevator part. I'm not sure quite what you mean there, Vicky. The non-elevator part that comes round from the back sits low on the top of the side of his thigh, if that makes sense. Is that because I'm not pulling up high enough at the back? Do you mean this? Do you mean the wing of the nappy, this bit that sticks out here? Because if that is low on the thigh there, that actually, the elastic, yeah. So if you mean this, that's low on the thigh, that's a sign that actually you've got it too high at the back. The nappy is only a certain height, so if it goes down at the back, it can come up at the front, and you can have more room there in the what to call it, the hip. So try having a move around, try putting it lower at the back than you think you might actually need, and that will give you room to bring it higher up at the front. Does that make sense? So that you can get nicely into the leg crease there. So there is a video that we frequently link to, and I'll make sure I put another link to it on of somebody actually doing this on a real baby on the page when I've finished doing this live, and I'll link it in the comments. It's one from the San Diego Real Diaper Circle, and it's just a really nice video. It's a mum doing it on a little baby, and she's got a pair of pink knickers over her own knickers over the baby, over the baby's bare bottom so that you can't see anything. You might have seen the video before. It's a really good video for fit, so I'll link that one on as well, because there are limits to what I can show you with a cloth doll. So, but those are the key points on fitting, that you do not want it too big. You want to get away with the smallest size you can think of. And what Vicky was asking about earlier about the red marks, if you're starting to get red marks around the leg that don't fade in 10 minutes, that's a sign that the nappy is getting too small. It's too tight around the leg as your baby has grown, and then you try and go up. You go up one popper. You don't go up all the way onto the biggest. Go up to the next size. There'll be an intermediate size, and then give that a go. And make sure you've got that space in the front. Make sure you're nice and low at the back. Make sure you're tucking right in between the leg here, right into the knicker line. You don't want a nappy to be sitting round here, not tight gripping. There are exceptions, and that is like the Motherese airflow wraps. They sit lower down, but they don't grip. The whole point of those is that they are loose and that they allow air to flow, so they are not going to grip into the bit of the thigh. The other ones are wool wraps, or like the Petit Lulu pull-up ones with the fleece thing. Again, they are going to sit lower down the thigh, holding it the wrong way up, but that's not going to grip. That is a soft, large thing that is going to come down here, so you're not going to dig in on this chubby bit of the thigh with any of them. Okay, so that is your fit, your fantastic fit. I'm going to lift this back up again so you can see the top of my head. Other things, other elements for not getting leaks. Absorbency. What you put in a nappy is going to dictate how much that nappy can contain in terms of liquid. So a lot of nappies that you buy, most of the cheap pocket nappies, will come with microfiber boosters or inserts inside them. This is one out of one of the Charlie Bananas. This is pure microfiber booster. And microfiber is the least absorbent fabric that nappies get made of, nappy boosters get made of. So it's quickest to dry, and it's quickest to absorb. So it absolutely does have its uses and have its benefits. And some people on a lot of nappy sites are quick to trash and kind of go, oh, that's microfiber, it's rubbish. It's not rubbish. It can be very useful. It can be really useful to have a quick drying option in your stash to get your washing done and ready and back on the bum quicker. And it can be really, really useful to have a quick drying layer in your nappy to make sure that when your baby gets a bit older and they start holding onto their wee for longer and then they start flooding, it's called flooding, they sort of do one big wee all at once instead of lots of little wees over the 2 hours. If you've got a more absorbent thing but that absorbs slower, like bamboo or hemp, sometimes you can leak because it just can't all get soaked up fast enough. It's like me emptying a whole glass of water, splosh, onto a sponge, and some of it soaks in, but some of it just pours off the top because it can't soak in fast enough. So if you have microfiber on top and then a more absorbent layer like bamboo or hemp underneath, the microfiber sucks it up really fast, and then it will go into the more absorbent layer to hold more. So there is always a reason to have various different ones. But if you've got a nappy with only microfiber boosters in, and you're getting leaks after half an hour, hour and a half, and you're not wanting to change your nappy that often, and you're kind of thinking, oh, blimey, I didn't think I'd have to change these every half an hour. This is ridiculous. Change what you put in the nappy. Put more absorbent pads in the nappy, and your problem will go away. So after microfiber, the next most absorbent is cotton. I don't have a cotton-shaped pad the same way here. I have terries, I have muslins, and I have pre-folds, but I don't have the same shaped pad. So any of which are fine. You can put anything in a nappy as absorbency. I even know somebody who did the entire thing with nappy wraps and tea towels from IKEA. She bought them specially. They weren't the ones she used for her washing up. But it's just a piece of absorbent fabric. It's a piece of cotton that you fold up and put in, exactly the same as pre-fold is. You don't have to buy something that is specifically marketed at nappies. So, which is useful to remember if you're ever stuck somewhere that you didn't plan to be and you don't have a spare nappy with you, you stay longer than you meant to, or all of your nappies are wet in the washing machine and you haven't got any spare and it's last thing at night and you can't go out to a shop to get anything and you're having a panic, just use a tea towel. You can always boil wash it afterwards, or just dedicate that tea towel from then on to nappy use, whatever. It's always good to remember that you can multi-purpose things. So microfiber, cotton, bamboo, and then most absorbent of all is hemp. So you probably can't even tell the difference looking at these on the screen. But if you put in more absorbent fabrics, your nappy will absorb more liquid. And if you put in more of them, it will absorb more liquid. But there is a caveat to this. Most nappies, most pocket nappies or most wraps are designed to fit. They have enough wiggle room, enough curvature with the elastic and the fit around the legs to fit in maybe 2 of these. If you tried to put in 4 to make your nappy last twice as long, it wouldn't work. You might physically be able to stuff them into the nappy and you might get the nappy on your baby's leg, but you would find that the elastic would no longer tuck nicely into the leg crease. It would stand out from the leg because the bulk of all of that wouldn't let it fit around your baby's leg, and then you are going to get leaks. So sometimes you can't just shove extra amounts of stuff to absorb in there. So it's no good just kind of going, oh, I'll put 4 microfiber boosters in. That's why you want to move up and kind of go, okay, I'll put a microfiber and a bamboo, or I'll put 2 bamboo, or I'll put a bamboo and a hemp, or I'll put a microfiber and a hemp. You can adjust what you put in there. So sometimes it helps. Not quite so good with pockets, but it helps if you've got a 2-part system quite often. So for night nappies, a lot of people use 2 parts for night nappies. If you're using 1 part, this is a flat, so this is a pre-fold. But if you were using a 2-part system and you put a nappy on the baby's bum, and then you want to add extra boost in there, but it's going to compromise the fit of that nappy, you can always add an extra boost between the nappy and the wrap. Let me just grab another one to show you what I mean, because that might sound like nonsense. I grab the Tot Spots kit here. Let's put the peanut pads in. The Bamboozle is the fitted 2-part nappy I've got here. So the nappy itself goes on the baby's bum, same way any other one does. It's an awful lot easier to do if your baby's lying down. But then uncooperative babies are a feature of a lot of nappy changes, so, you know, it's nice to know that you can do it any which way. So, if you put your nappy on, obviously much better than this, and you think that putting an extra booster inside that would mess up this fit, would make this not fit to your baby's bum, you can always put an extra layer of boosting in between that and the wrap. So put another booster on before you put the wrap on, and that can get you more absorbency without compromising the fit of the bottom layer. You might think, well, why does it matter if you're going to put a wrap over the whole thing if the bottom layer doesn't fit as well? It might not matter for liquids, but for solids, you want the bottom layer to fit. For poo containment, if the nappy fits, all the poo stays in that, and then when you take it off, you've just got a wrap that's wet, it's just damp, it's not soiled, and then you can use the wrap again. So you want to try and keep the containment in there if you can. So that's absorbency, what you put in. The next thing is placement. It's where you put it in. So what I was just saying there about putting it between the nappy and the wrap, that's one point. But also, you might notice a lot of nappies, if they have an attached booster, if they have a booster, it might only attach at one end. You think, oh, they've saved on the cost of putting the poppers at the other end. It's not for that. And it's not even for comfort. It's so that you can fold this a different way. So, if you have a girl, obviously, girls, we straight downwards. That tends to be more downwards than forwards, at least. That's where they urinate. That's how they're built. Boys, we forwards. That's where their bits are. That's how they work. So for boys, you might want to fold this pad up right at the front, maybe even into 3 like that. So you've got a really thick pad right at the front where they're going to wee, and then far less around the back. For girls, you might want to fold it like that, so you've got a lot more absorbency in the middle. You might even want to unpopper it and fold it into 3 and put it in the middle like that, so you've got lots more absorbency in the middle. The same is true, this is why pre-folds are made like this, with a thicker bit in the middle and thinner bits on sides. So for a boy, you fold the thin bits into the side and then fold over the front, so you've got loads of absorbency at the front. For a girl, you fold it the other way, so that you've got the really thicker bit in the middle and you've got loads of absorbency in the middle. It's sort of built in there for how you do that. So you can always, even in a pocket nappy, where you've just got 2 boosters to stuff in a pocket nappy, there is absolutely no reason you have to stuff them both in flat like that. You can fold one in half. If you've got a boy, you can fold one in half and stuff them in like that, so you have got more absorbency at the front. There is quite a lot of adjustability in a cloth nappy that you don't get in a disposable. A disposable nappy, you take out the packet and you put it on. A cloth nappy, you custom fit to make it work for you. So you can put the absorbency where you want it. You can choose what kind of absorbency you put in there, what kind of fabrics you put in there. You can make sure it fits to fit your baby. Now, I was talking then when I was putting that one on, I'm looking for a nappy now that has poppers. Because one more point about fit just occurred to me. Excuse me, should have had everything out ready, but more things are occurring to me as I talk. Nappies with Velcro, you adjust your rise poppers and then you do your Velcro up, and it's how tight you do your Velcro up. Nappies with poppers, you have other options. So you tend to have, not always, but you tend to have some snaps that do up the waist, and then you have a snap that's slightly lower down that does the hip. So your hip snap, and you have a different, you have 2 rows of your poppers to do, and you can adjust. Everybody sort of assumes the first time they put on a nappy that this has to be completely even. It doesn't have to be completely even and flat. A nice way to start, if you've got no clue where you're starting with the poppers, is to start with the ones that are furthest in, put them towards the middle, how tight you think, and if you think, oh, that's going to be too tight, move it out 1, and count the number of poppers you've got in between to help you keep it even left to right on both sides, so both legs are the same. But you don't have to do the hip snap up where it would naturally fall flat there. If you think that needs to be snubbed in a bit more, you do it 1 further in. There will be a little tiny pleat in your fabric here, it won't annoy your baby at all. If you think it wants to be slightly bigger on the hip, you do it 1 backwards and make it pull in a slightly different direction. It's fabric, it's malleable, you can move it to where it suits you. You can even do, there's a thing called the newborn hack for a poppered nappy, which I can't remember all of right now, where you do one of the rise poppers up in the middle, and then instead of doing the rise poppers up on the outside, you use the hip snap on the bottom rise popper, because that makes the leg even smaller. If you've got a dinky newborn, that isn't going to fit in a birth to potty nappy. I think I've done that right. Again, I'll find a graphic of this online and put it in the comments so you can see how to do it properly. It's very hard to tell on this print as well because it's a very wild print. So there are all sorts of adjustability things you can do and you can try, and we can talk you through any of them. If you're baffled and you're saying, oh, I don't think it's fitting right and I don't know quite how to make it right, please do get in touch with us. This is part of what we're here for, and we would really, really like you to reach out and ask for help. We'd always rather help somebody than think that they are struggling with using cloth and going, oh no, I don't like these, they're too hard, it's not for me. So we are absolutely here to help you, and we love helping people and going away going, yay, that's somebody else happily using cloth now. it gives us a lovely warm fuzzy feeling. So hopefully some of those things have been useful. The video is saved, it will go up and it will stay on the Gloss Nappies page, so you can refer back to it and look at it. And if you have any problems with any of these things, please do get in touch with us. You can email us, you can contact us on Facebook Messenger on here, just message the page. You can phone us, and I'm going to do a post this week with our work phone numbers on there, so that you can just phone us if you've got need any help. You can, yeah, I don't know, carrier pigeon. No, not really. But we're pretty easy to get hold of. Instagram, that's the one I was forgetting. We also have an Instagram feed, so you can message on there. If you're here already, messaging the page is probably the easiest way. But all of these methods do exist, and you get hold of us quite easily, and we're very friendly, and we love talking to people and helping them. So if you do have any issues, please do get in touch. I'm going to stop waffling at you now. Thanks very much. Good night.